Welcome to another edition of Motivating Monday. My name is Robin, and I hope that this short sharing will help encourage and uplift you for the rest of this week. This morning, I would like to talk about one of the hymns that I find particularly encouraging. It's called How Great Thou Art, and the English version of this hymn that we often sing today was derived from an old Swedish poem written around the year 1885 by a Swedish poet and elected official who was named Karl Boberg. So the story goes that Boberg penned a poem titled "O Great God" during a time of the year when everything seemed to be in its richest coloring. And he penned it on a particular day where he encountered some very nice natural landscapes, weather, and so on. So this seemed to have been translated into the very elegant and vibrant lines that are found in this hymn. So the first verse of the hymn, How Great Thou Art, really describes the glory and awesomeness of God and how the author considered the creations by God, including things like the stars in the sky, the thunder during a storm, and his great power displayed throughout the universe. In fact, Psalms 19 verse 1 comes to mind, which reads, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork." Okay, so the second verse of the hymn describes the natural landscape surrounding the author, including the woods and the forest glades, the birds singing in the trees, the grandeur of the lofty mountains, and also the calm, peaceful feeling of hearing water flowing in the brooks, as well as the gentle breeze wafting through the air. I can only imagine such a scene, and the author must have been reflecting on how great God was through appreciating the beauty of the natural landscape around him. The third verse, however, becomes a bit more solemnly contemplative. And here the author reflects on how God the Father gave up his Son to die on the cross, and how Christ bled and died in order to take away the author's sin, as well as the sins of all mankind. And the author mentioned how he scarce could take it in, how he was finding it very challenging to fathom the love of God in offering this path of redemption. Now, the fourth and the final verse is more forward-looking. The author writes about Christ's return and how he would be filled with joy in his heart at that point, and also bow in humble adoration. The author writes how he would proclaim how great God is, which, as we know, forms the core of this very hymn. So throughout this hymn, the chorus echoes these proclamations from the soul of how great God is, how great the Savior is. The melody also starts off, being slightly more subdued, starting from verse 1, and also rises to a grand crescendo when proclaiming God's greatness, especially in portions like the chorus. So personally, I find it very useful to regularly consider God's creations, the beauty of nature, God's love for us in sacrificing his only begotten Son, and of course, looking forward to the day of Christ's return. Some verses in the Bible, which I also found very useful and reminiscent of some of the lines in this hymn, are from Psalms 96, verses 11 to 13, which read, "Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar, and all of its fullness. Let the field be joyful, and all that is in it. Then all the trees of the woods will rejoice before the Lord, for he is coming. For he is coming to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness and the peoples with his truth. I hope you likewise find this hymn, How Great Thou Art, valuable in your own spiritual journey and also in praising God. Thank you again for listening and have a great week ahead.